Good morning, everyone here on the West Coast. Good afternoon to those of you on the East. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Katie Burke. I'm the Government Program Strategist here at Laserfiche, and I'm joined by Katie Fries, one of our pre-sales engineers here. Before we begin the webinar, there are just a few housekeeping items that I'd like to cover. First of all, I've taken the liberty of muting all of our attendees on the webinar today so that we don't get any background noise. If you have a question, please type it into the Q&A box on the lower right-hand portion of your screen. And if you have any technical issues related to WebEx, please feel free to chat us and somebody on our team will respond as soon as possible. Thanks so much. With that, we'll get started on the webinar. So in today's dynamic government technology landscape, there are many trends that are changing the way government organizations want to work with ECM products. Today we're going to discuss 3 urgent trends that are sparking some of our most exciting new product developments: change management and how it's led to the development of social business process management. Then we'll talk about digital ecosystems and the increased need for easy integration. And we'll close with the demand for mobile information access, which is driving the new look and feel of the next generation of the Laserfiche client. So to begin with, change management is always an issue with tech projects, but the current staffing landscape in government is adding more urgency to this topic. The Washington Post recently reported that nearly a quarter of all federal employees will be eligible to retire by September 2016. And in the local government space, 25% of Center for Digital Government survey respondents anticipated that 20 to 30% of their department will retire in the next 5 years. There's a huge retiring workforce, and there's a challenge of how to transfer the knowledge from retiring workers to new employees. Social BPM informs and business processes in the Laserfiche client were inspired by the request to bring change management into our technology. These features help to manage knowledge transfer, again, using the example of retiring to new employees, and to ease all individuals through the processes they need to complete in Laserfiche. To show how these features can be used in the context of this urgent public retirement issue, we'll show someone that's looking to apply to retire, and something that's more than likely new to them, and a new employee can then process their application without any previous experience. I'll hand it off to Katie to walk us through that at this time.
All right, thank you. With that, we'll jump into the view of a state employee, John Smith, who has just noted that he is ready for retirement and has been sent this email with a link to a form inside of Laserfiche in order to continue his retirement process. Here we have the form that John needs to fill out, and he can start off by filling in his first and last name as well as other important information about him, such as his social security number. Upon entering this information, we're also able to pull back other information we already know about John and his years of service in the state sector. Here he will be prompted to continue to fill out this form, any other information that is required. And moving down as he selects more options, this form will change dynamically, allowing him to have a personalized view of this process. When he selects married, he sees information that he must then fill out, information that otherwise he would not be important to him, as well as an up-to-date status guiding him through the process and what he needs to do next. Here we see that he needs to upload the following files in order to complete his application, which he can do easily in this guided manner with Laserfiche forms. If at any point in the process John has questions about this application that he's filling out, we've also embedded a social component to our Laserfiche forms in this FAQ that you see down at the bottom. Here, John has access to all the institutional knowledge of the state and has frequent question and answers regarding the process that he's currently participating in, such as, how soon will I receive my first payment, and other information about his retirement processing. With this guided instruction and personalized view, he's able to easily fill out this form and send it in to the repository after signing off. Not only does John have this guided and personalized view of our Laserfiche forms and guiding him through the process, but the same is true for our state workers, such as Katie Freese, who's a new employee. Maybe she has not dealt with moving a lot of employees through the retirement process, but she too has a personalized view of how to move these applications forward. She is assigned work cues as well as instructional guidance for how to move applications forward. John Smith's application has just been moved into applications for processing now that he has completed all the needed information. And she has a full context of what has happened with John's application since its very beginning, a set of instructions on what he submitted, and then directions for how to proceed in order to move this application forward. So we see this change management in twofold, both from the user who is submitting information and moving through a process for the first time, as well as workers in the back office who may be new to the tasks that they need to perform. With that, I'll hand it back to Katie.
Great, thank you. So the second trend that we want to discuss today is digital ecosystems. And today we work in a world with numerous applications that are used for various business functions. And each solution seems to have their own specialty or area of expertise. Each department seems to be acquiring software that is really specific to their needs and their functions. And the Center for Digital Government recently discussed this trend in a white paper. They're coining the term digital ecosystems, which is basically just a collaboration of specialty applications that work together to meet one business need. So for example, the IRS's income tax e-filing initiative. The IRS never actually built an e-filing system. Instead, they used third-party e-file providers and managed those within their system internally, linking them all together to let the public file electronically without building their own e-filing system. This digital ecosystem trend leads to a need for more integration between third-party systems and more complex digital processes. We recently released Laserfiche Connector in response to demands for easier integrations. Laserfiche Connector is a tool that allows you to easily integrate Laserfiche with other applications and reduce the amount of coding required, if any. With Connector, you can search the Laserfiche repository based on fields from primary applications, such as an ERP system. You can scan a page and automatically populate metadata and store it in Laserfiche directly from your primary application. And you can connect two applications by allowing one of them to start the other one, including the ability to pass parameters between them. An analogy that we like to use at Laserfiche is that Laserfiche Connector is the golden retriever that can learn any command and fetch what you want quickly while you sit back and enjoy a glass of iced tea. So sticking with the context of public retirement again, Katie will show us an example of Laserfiche Connector in action in the Outlook email client. In this example, a Laserfiche Outlook integration will make it easier for a caseworker to retrieve all the information she requires within one application. Go ahead, Katie.
All right, thank you. So we will switch back to the view of Katie, this back office worker. Here she often receives status update requests from potential retirement employees. And from her line of business application, Outlook, she can retrieve information from Laserfiche. So here, by using this small button up in the top left or right-hand corner, she can search for the sender of this email, jsmith@state.gov. And from her access rights inside of Laserfiche, all of the documents that are associated with that email are pulled up with just one click. She can easily open these up and view the retirement option that John had requested to see from that email that he previously sent. So that's just one way in which these applications can be easily integrated with Laserfiche Connector, just that one click from one application to accessing all of your information inside of Laserfiche. And the true beauty of Laserfiche Connector is just how easy it is to set up. So this interface was actually created through a simple wizard with drag and drop functionality. I'll switch back to John's view to show you what that looks like. So here, this is our Laserfiche Connector profile setup wizard. And no coding was involved in setting up those simple integrations. All this requires is simple drag and drop targets onto applications where Laserfiche Connector is then able to analyze and read the application and set up an integration simply by grabbing the information off of the page that they need, such as perhaps the subject of an email. As you see, I grabbed the target over this. It highlights red, and we're able to read the text inside that line. So the idea here is that, yes, we can integrate with other line of business applications, but we also make it easy for users to create their own set of custom integrations that they can use in the office, and they don't have to require extra IT connections so that each person can have their own set of tools that allow them to work best based on their job function.
Perfect. Thank you, Katie. So for our next topic and our final topic that we're going to cover in today's webinar, it's all about accessibility. So we're going to look at the changing landscape of information access. And as we all know, processes and personnel are both becoming increasingly mobile. And mobile workers mean anytime, anywhere access to information, applications, and business processes. In fact, nearly 60% of state CIOs consider mobile devices and apps to be either an essential or high priority part of their strategic agenda. This is becoming a critical and strategic part of an overall IT plan. At Laserfiche, we've been working on the look and feel of the next generation of the Laserfiche client to cater to an audience that's primarily web-based. On today's webinar, we're going to give you an exclusive sneak peek at the new design that will be released at a later date. Let's take a look at John, our retirement applicant's paperwork in the new Laserfiche client.
So this is the look of our next generation client. This has been streamlined to create a sleek and performance-based look of Laserfiche, where users can easily browse through folders and see any pertinent information about documents right in one view. So for example, selecting John's process, here I see all of the business process details for his retirement application folder and the metadata as well as field values for his application all in one view. We've also made this interface easier to use in that we have given users the favorite set of activities in each folder up at the top section here so that they can easily access them and work with their documents. Additionally, we give a link to recently opened documents for them to quickly browse through the repository and switch from document to document or view to view. Something else that we have worked into this new version of our Laserfiche client is this streamlined view of information and the appearance of an interface that users have come to expect in web applications, such as continuous scrolling, responsive design. This, as Katie had mentioned, is targeted toward an audience that can use this for different types of applications, whether it be a tablet, a phone. And even as you see me resize my screen here, you see the layout change to become responsive for the size of the web browser, so that this could easily be used either on a desktop or a mobile device or phone. Each view, is responsive to how the user's web browser is currently configured and allows them to access their information in a streamlined way.
So now that we've taken care of the mobile workforce, I hope that today's webinar has given you insight into how government trends and demands are driving product innovation at Laserfiche. We're always looking for new ways to make our product better, so if you have any feature requests, I really strongly urge you to post your ideas on answers.laserfiche.com. Our development team closely monitors this site and often uses it to plan a product roadmap. If you haven't been to answers.laserfiche.com, I suggest that you visit the site as well, sort of a dynamic Q&A forum where our internal staff, our resellers, and other users can respond to any questions or topics of discussion that you may have about Laserfiche. I also encourage you to join the government group on Laserfiche where you can learn about best practices for using Laserfiche in government. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today and open up to the floor for questions at this time. And it looks like we've had a couple questions come through during the presentation. The first question is, will the link to the recorded webinar be available? The answer is yes. We're happy to share that with you all, and we will send that to you within 48 hours of the event as soon as we can process the recording and get it up on our site. So keep an eye out for an email with that link. Another question we had related to Laserfiche Connector, asking if Laserfiche Connector is able to integrate with Tyler Munis. The short answer is that, yes, we've recently had a successful integration with Munis 11. So that is good news, and we have seen it successfully work there. I know that it's a popular application for government that folks are looking to integrate Laserfiche with, so good news. Let's see. The next question is about the new next generation of the Laserfiche client, asking if we know when it will be available. No, we don't have a release date just yet, but hang on, hang tightly, and we will see hopefully within the next, I don't want to promise any dates, but hopefully soon. Keep an eye out for that. All right, I'll give it a couple more minutes for any other questions to come in. Also, I'd like to leave you all with my contact information. Feel free to send me an email with any questions that come up after the event, anything that you'd like to follow up with. I'm happy to help. All right, and it looks like we don't have any questions left, so I'll go ahead and dismiss everyone from today's webinar. We will hang out here for another, one more question that just came in. I think this will be a good question for everyone. Is Connector an add-on? Yes, it is. It's a percentage add-on, and you can talk to your reseller about pricing for that and the applications that you'd like to integrate with. But yes, it's an add-on. But we will hang out here for another few minutes to see if there are any late questions. But thank you again for joining us, and look forward to seeing you all again soon on our next webinar. Thank you.